Ladies and gentlemen, on the count of three, those four most famous words in auto racing. 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, start your engines. Know that you appreciate late model stock car racing at its very best in the Northeast. The American Canadian Tour for the running of the Thompson Machine 300. American Canadian Tour pace car will make its way to the infield as Bob Cotton and Tom Kenyon will bring the field down to a start out of turn 4. Ready for the running of the Super Bowl of the American Canadian Tour, the Thompson 300. Green flag is out. Side by side, Cotton and Kenyon race the front stretch to turns 1 and 2. Still side by side down the backstretch. Lynch and Mike Johnson in the second row. Then comes Kevin LePage and Paul Johnson. Tom Kenyon now with a slight advantage as they race the front stretch. Remember that outside groove has been kind of difficult. Out of the two-turn, Kenyon tries once again down the backstretch. So far unable to take the lead away from pole sitter Bob Cotton in the 68. Cars tangle in the 3 and 4 turn. That'll bring out the yellow flag. It looks like the 8 of Russ Erlin tangles with the 77. Question today, will the drivers be able to go 300 laps without stopping for fuel and tires? I talked with quite a few of the drivers, and some of them think they can, many of them think they cannot. So that's the big question on their minds and on the minds of their crew. Ready for a start out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air. Once again, Bob Cotton and Tom Kenyon on the front line, racing side by side to the 1 and 2 turn. Bob Cotton to the inside in the 68, Tom Kenyon to the outside in the 93. Derek Lynch from Norwood, Ontario, looking for racing room on the inside. Then comes Mike Johnson and Kevin LePage in the next row via top 5. So far in the heat races, the Beech Ridge cars seem to run very strong. Among them, both Mike Johnson and Paul Johnson with good starting positions as Mike Johnson currently rides 4th on the field, and Paul Johnson runs 6th. Glenn Cusaak running 7th. Going to be interesting if these Beech Ridge cars are able to stay right in there and run with the tour cars. Continues to be a side-by-side battle up front. Nice job being done by Bob Cotton, former weekly competitor here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, holding on to that lead spot ever so slightly over Tom Kenyon. Tom Kenyon out of Ottawa, Ontario. Bob Cotton, your leader. Tom Kenyon in a battle now with Derek Lynch in the 15. As Derek Lynch dives to the inside, looks to the back bumper of the 68 of Cotton. And The 93 of Kenyon finds it difficult on the outside. He has to back off going down into the 3 turn. Goes a little wide, and now it'll be a 3-wide battle as Mike Johnson dives to the inside of the 93. Couldn't quite do it that time, as he is not quite room enough as he tried to go between cars. Look to the inside of the 93 now. It is Mike Johnson working to try and take over 4th spot as the cars single file up front. Bob Cotton continues to be the leader with 14 laps down here in the early going of the New England 300. Derek Lynch in the 15 in the 2nd spot. Then comes Kevin LePage, Mike Johnson, and now Glenn Cusaak takes over the 5th spot from Tom Kenyon. Paul Johnson in a side-by-side battle with Ralph Nason as they race the backstretch. Nason dives to the inside of the 93 of Kenyon. Takes over the 6th spot. Fine run here early on by Bob Cotton. Mike Johnson on the move in the number 83 as he works to the outside of Kevin LePage down the backstretch. Mike Johnson trying to take over 3rd spot as he works to the outside of the number 21 of LePage. Slower car, the number 55 of Dave Lebrecht. Cars tangle on the backstretch as the 68 of Cotton tangles with the 21 of LePage as they were coming on of the slower car. Not quite room enough, and a tough break for race leader Bob Cotton in the 68. Laps down here in the early going of the Thompson 300. And a skirmish changes that front row around. Now it's Derek Lynch on the pole. A damaged hood and nothing else on the 83 of Mike Johnson as he is running strong here this afternoon. Also the 21 of Kevin LePage appears to be headed to the pit road as he works the inside of the line right up to the pace car. While we're awaiting a realignment, let me read a few other winning numbers still from the Trackside magazine, people. These are lucky ticket numbers: 015245, 015245, and 015277. Once again, lucky ticket numbers from the Trackside magazine: 05245 and 015277. They're located right down next to the photo booth. Ready for a restart out of turn 4 with Derek Lynch and Glenn Cusaak. Green flag is in the air. Derek Lynch dives into it quickly as they race to the 1 turn. Glenn Cusaak looks to the outside, not wanting to give up that front row spot. Ralph Nason now in 2nd place. Then comes Carlton Roby in a side-by-side battle for 5th between Steve Knowlton and the 13 of Mike Mayetta. Glenn Cusaak battles back on the outside to challenge Derek Lynch on the front row. And Cusaak puts about a half a car ahead out of the 4 turn down the front stretch. Continues that slight advantage as they race to the 1 turn. Glenn Cusaak on the move in the Cherry Coke number 2 down the backstretch as he works around the outside of the 15 of Derek Lynch. New leader is Glenn Cusaak in his Cherry Coke number 2 this afternoon. Running strong here at his home track. Derek Lynch in 2nd. Then comes Ralph Nason in the number 10. Mike Mayetta in the 13th. Side-by-side battle between Carlton Roby and Steve Knowlton in the 5th place. Also on the move, the number 9 of Bedard, Yvonne Bedard. Canada. Keep your eyes on the 29 of Dave Dion as he is on a roll here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, dating back to the end of the 1989 season when he swept every race he was in and has actually continued that streak right into the 1990 season as he won his qualifying heat a few weeks ago in the running of the 200 and of course won his heat earlier today. So Dave Dion in the 29, definitely a car to watch, and a car on the move as is Jeff Stevens in the number 44 as they negotiate the outside of the track. Russ Erlin also on the move in the number 8 as he races to the outside of Robbie Crouch in the number 48. Robbie Crouch, of course, the current point leader in the American-Canadian Tour as he holds about a 3-point advantage over John Paul Cabana, who is sitting second in the Tour points. Is number 13 to the outside of the 10 just as the yellow flag comes up. We'll put the cars back under caution. Thompson Machine number 40 is on a pit road, as is the 44 of Jeff Stevens, along with the 77. Cusaak turning some very strong times here this afternoon, consistently in the high 15s. It's Cusaak and Lynch bringing them down. Green flag is out, and once again, Glenn Cusaak jumps back into the lead that he held prior to the restart. Now Ralph Nason is the second place contender on the inside as he races under the 15 of Lynch, and here comes Steve Knowlton on the move, as is the 9 of Yvonne Bedard. Seemingly having difficulty running the outside. Ralph Nason now right at the back bumper of Glenn Cusaak. Has to get on the brakes as he races to the one turn. Nason once again putting the heat to the back bumper of the number 2 of Glenn Cusaak, letting him know he's there. And Glenn Cusaak holding the car in the inside groove, hoping that the number 10 of Nason will have to work to the outside. Nason sets back as though he's going to move to the outside. Didn't do it that time by. Mike Mayetta's on the move on the outside. Keep your eyes on the number 13 of Mike Mayetta as he ran strong in the heat this afternoon. Works to the outside of Buzzy Bazanson in the number 2. The thing that Mike will have to be concerned about is not to use his tires up out there in that outside groove. 43 laps down in the running of the New England 300. Leader continues to be Glenn Cusaak. Ralph Nason in second. Steve Knowlton third. Derek Lynch fourth. And Yvonne Bedard, your 5th place competitor in the number 9. Going out to Dan Beatty and Bill Zardo, letting them know the leaders are coming on. On the move on the outside is the 29 of Dave Dion. It's almost 3 wide racing in the 3 turn as John Paul Cabana tried to go to the inside of the 74, and the 29, it is 3 wide in the 1 turn as Dave Dion works to the outside of the 74. On the move now. Yellow flag is out, and it's Bill Zardo in the number 40. Bill Zardo Jr. out of Brampton, Ontario. Spins on the backstretch, has the car refired, but not until the cars are brought under the caution flag once again. 47 laps down here this afternoon. Kevin LePage on pit road, as is Jeff Stevens once again. Looks like they're changing tires. The 93 of Tom Kenyon back on pit road also. Tom Kenyon, a strong runner earlier on today. running into his share of difficulty here, as he had a good starting position, but has had his difficulties with the cars. The hood is up on the 93, not a good sign at this stage. Cosmetic damage to the 21 of Kevin LePage, and they get that corrected. He's ready to go back out, as is the 44 of Jeff Stevens. The 46 on pit road, Bill Zardo Sr. Flagman John Hulbert asked them to cross it over and said, we're ready for a restart. 48 laps down here this afternoon. Yellow flag comes back out as the cars are put under caution once again. Concern was that the cars who had gone on to pit road should not go down a lap, and they want to be certain that that does not happen. Dan Beatty out of Barrie, Vermont. The 21 of Kevin LePage, this time with the hood up. Possibly a heating problem, as the Kevin LePage machine was involved in that skirmish in the earlier going, and apparently has affected the cooling system. A tough break for Kevin LePage. Trying to get the cars back where they should be in terms of their lap position. That's the reason why the 44 and the 93 are making a circuit around the track in order to keep the cars on the proper lap. '21 is also a car that is going to circuit the track once again in order to be certain that he is in the lead lap, because he should be. 21 being brought around in order to get his correct scoring position. Several cars inadvertently held in the pit a little longer than they should have been, and that was just an effort by scoring to be certain that they were not penalized. And now the lineup is correct. Pace car will move to the infield pit road. 53 laps down, and we're ready to restart. Once again with Glenn Cusaak and Ralph Nason on the front line, bringing the field down. Green flag is out. Glenn Cusaak on the inside, Ralph Nason to the outside as they race the 1 and 2 turn. Cusaak fights back on the inside, Nason on the outside. Side by side down the backstretch. Nason with a slight advantage as they enter turn 3. Trying to make his car stick on the outside. Cusaak fights right back on the inside. Steve Knowlton trying to follow Cusaak up the inside. Keeping the 15 of Lynch to the outside. Once again, Nason with a bid on the outside. And the number 10, this time he puts it out and around the number 2 of Cusaak. Cusaak fights back, but this time, new leader is Ralph Nason in the number 10. Then comes Cusaak, the 88 of Knowlton, the 9 of Yvonne Bedard, and then a side-by-side battle for the 5th spot. Mike Maeder in the 13 and Derek Lynch in the 15. Buzzy Bazanson trying to make his way to the front as he works to the outside. Spin in turn 1, the 53 of Dan Beatty. Trying to refire the car. He does. Backs it up across the track. And not until the yellow flag comes out, as Beatty was unable to refire the 53. Put us back under caution with 58 laps down. After Buzzy Bazanson was able to run non-stop in the 300 last year, several of the other drivers are thinking of trying that. Some of them told me if they got the opportunity to get in early and top off the tank and possibly change some tires, they would do it, then in the hopes of going the rest of the way. So that might be what some of these drivers are doing, feeling that it's early enough to make a stop and not gamble gamble quite so much on fuel. Buzzy Bazanson said that his fuel tank had literally maybe a few cups of fuel left when he finished, so he cut it very, very close last year. He knows that. A number of the competitors know that. Talked with Robbie Crouch, and he said he didn't think it would be likely that would be duplicated again, that the car would go without stopping. Ready to restart, 60 laps down. Ralph Nason, green flag is out. Nason jumps into a lead, then he's followed by Cusaak. Spin right here at the front stretch. The 18 getting it right around at the start-finish line. That's smart. Jeff Stevens losing all kinds of time as he gets out of the pit a little late and is looking at making up a lot of time now here early on. Ralph Nason showing the way in the number 10. Nason out of Unity, Maine. Holding off Glenn Cusaak, Yvonne Bedard, Mike Mayetta, and the 01 of Randy McDonald out of Oshawa, Ontario. Passing flag is being shown to those cars that are off the pace, asking them to stay in a line that will not get in the way of those leaders. Ralph Nason showing the strength of the number 10 here this afternoon as he begins to put a little distance on the second place competitor. Side-by-side battle shaping up now for fourth position. Mike Mayetta to the inside. It's the 01 of Randy McDonald working to the outside. If you saw the running of the 200 a few weeks back, the 01 of Randy McDonald seemed to get stronger and stronger as the day went on, to the point that he was really a challenger at the end of the race. And he has worked his way to the front rather quickly today. Now running in the fourth place position, setting his sights on the third that is now held by the number 9 of Yvonne Bedard. Jeff Stevens off the pace now in the 44 as the car has slowed way off the pace, and it looks like he will take it to the backstretch pit area. Not a good sign for the 44 of Jeff Stevens. Also on the move down the backstretch, the 91 of Bobby Randall as he works to the outside of the 13 of Mike Mayetta. Keep your eyes on the 29 of Dion as he has now worked his way up into the top 5 cars or so. Fighting now for fourth place, it's Dave Dion in the 29, working to the inside of the 01 of Randy McDonald. Leader Ralph Nason coming on to slower cars now that the flagman is trying to let know that the leader is closing in on them. Glenn Cusaak now and Yvonne Bedard work to the outside of the 55. Race leader Nason trying to get by the 18 of Marty LeBlanc. Bobby Randall and Dave Dion have worked their way up considerably here in the early going. 73 laps down, running of the 300-lap race. Leader continues to be the 10 of Ralph Nason. Challenger now on the outside is Randy McDonald as he works to the outside of the number 9 of Yvonne Bedard. 01 definitely on the move. Randy McDonald now challenging for third place, setting his sights on the second spot, now held by Glenn Cusaak. And following up the outside, the 29 of Dave Dion and the 91 of Bob Randall as they race to the front. Ralph Nason will soon have some of the heavy hitters at his back bumper as Randy McDonald has worked his way around Glenn Cusaak to take over second place. And here comes Dynamite Dave Dion in the 29. Also working to the outside of Cusaak. Trying to take over third spot. Down the backstretch he does, racing to the 3-turn. Third place held now by Dave Dion. Yvonne Bedard and the 91 of Bob Randall vying race. Bedard works to the outside of Cusaak, and it's Randy McDonald looking to the outside of Ralph Nason. Ralph Nason now with a challenge from Randy McDonald as they move down the backstretch. Dave Dion also getting into the picture as he closes in on the first and second place cars. Nason in the 10, Randy McDonald in the 01, then comes Dave Dion in the 29, Glenn Cusaak. Side-by-side battle shaping up for 5th place. Bob Randall to the inside, Yvonne Bedard to the outside. Leader continues to be Ralph Nason with a lot of pressure from Randy McDonald now. Here comes the 29 of Dion as he races to the inside of the 01 of McDonald. Dion definitely on the move. Ralph Nason momentarily boxed in as he comes onto the slower car of Tom Kenyon in the 93. Does a nice job of racing between the 93 and the 01 to hang on to the lead now. Randy McDonald running kind of a patient race so far as he keeps trying inside and outside on the number 10. Dave Dion on the move, as is Bob Rendell in the 91. Dion now looks to the outside of Randy McDonald. Dion now looks to the outside of the 10 of Nason as they race the backstretch. Dave Dion coming from the back of the pack. At lap 85, Dave Dion is the new leader as he races to the outside of Ralph Nason. Nason fights back on the inside, but it's Dave Dion working the outside to his advantage. New race leader. The man on a roll here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway out of Hudson, New Hampshire. Dynamite Dave Dion. Side-by-side battle for second now between the 10 of Ralph Nason and the 01 of Randy McDonald as they come on over a slower car. The advantage goes to Randy McDonald as he takes over second place, racing to the outside of the 53, which is a lap car. Then comes Ralph Nason, Bobby Randall, and Glenn Cusaak for the top 5. Tangle in the two-turn is Buzzy Bazanson, and some fiberglass torn up in that skirmish. Brings the cars under yellow. Looked like Buzzy Bazanson came out of it amazingly well from what it originally looked like. This caution at lap 90. The 11 electing to change some right side rubber. Of Robbie Crouch, the current point leader on the American-Canadian Tour, back on pit road. Whether he discovered a problem with that tire change or just wanted to have the crew check something out remains to be seen. Robbie Crouch, one of those drivers who told me that he didn't think there's any way that Bazanson's feat of running the 300 laps without a stop would be duplicated. He said it was highly unlikely, and it looks like most of the top competitors agree with him, as many of them have come on pit road. Ready for a restart with 94 laps down as the pace car moves to the infield pit road. It's Dave Dion and Randy McDonald on the front line. Out of turn 4, green flag is in the air. Randy McDonald trying to get the jump on Dave Dion as they race to the one turn. But Dion fights back on the inside. They're side by side out of the two turn and down the backstretch. Side by side in the second row is Ralph Nason and Bob Randall. Out of the four turn down the front stretch, still side by side at the start finish line. Randy McDonald with a fine challenge to the outside of race leader Dave Dion. Dion now is able to get a little breathing room as he races the 3 and 4 turn. Takes over the lead that he held prior to the restart. Randy McDonald in second, then a side-by-side battle for third with Ralph Nason to the outside, Bob Randall to the, Randall to the outside, Nason to the inside. Randall on the move in the 91. Trying to work his way around the number 10 of Ralph Nason. Battle continues to be for third place with Ralph Nason to the inside, Bob Randall to the outside. Randall with a slight advantage as they race the front stretch to the one-turn. Randall out of the two-turn down the backstretch, takes over third spot with a good bite out of the two-turn. Bob Randall on the move. Multi-year track champion here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Randall sets his sight on the 01 of McDonald now, trying to reel in the second place contender, McDonald. Mike Mayetta trying to make up ground that he lost as he looks to the outside of Bobby Libby, and then the 5A of Jean-Paul Cabana. Leader continues to be Dave Dion in the 29 as he holds off the challenge of young Randy McDonald in the 01. Then comes Bob Randall in the 91. And they put some distance on the fourth place competitor, Ralph Nason, in the number 10. And then a space back to the 2 of Glenn Cusaak. Spin out of turn 4, and we have a car up against the wall. Derek Lynch is able to drive away. It looks like the number 80 is up against the wall out of the 4 turn. The number 80 is Donald Teege out of Charlesbourg, Quebec, as he backs it into the wall out of turn 4. Unable to refire the car. Hard to tell whether there's extensive damage or not to that automobile. Tell us the driver is okay, but they do need wrecker assistance in the 4-turn area. While we're waiting a realignment, a couple of additional winning tickets to read off from the Trackside magazine stand, which is right down near the photo booth. If you hold ticket number 03263 or 015276, you are a winner today from the folks at the Trackside magazine. So take your ticket down to their table, located right next to the photo booth. Ready to restart with 109 laps down. Dion on the hot seat. Randy McDonald is outside, gets sideways right out of turn 4. Has to back out of it, and that hands over second place momentarily his way to Bobby Randall in the 91. Randy McDonald tries a little bit too hard to the outside of Dave Dion, and second place is now in the hands of Bobby Randall in the 91. Dave Dion continues to be the man to beat here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. He's followed by perennial track champion here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, Bobby Randall out of Sanford, Maine. Then comes Randy McDonald in the 01. The number 9 of Yvonne Bedard out of Quebec, and also also the 5A of Jean-Paul Cabana out of Sherrington, Quebec. So you have a New Hampshire car leading. Dave Dion out of Hudson, New Hampshire. A Saturday night regular here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway in second spot, Bobby Randall. Then the next three spots are in the hands of Canadian drivers, Yvonne Bernard, Jean-Paul Cabana, and now fighting for sixth spot, another competitor out of Canada, the veteran Claude Leclerc, on the move in the number 11. Jean-Paul Cabana takes over the fourth spot from Yvonne Bernard. Sideways in the one turn. He does a nice job of collecting it up, but that costs him about 3 positions as Ralph Mason, Russ Erlin, and Buzzy Bazanson all move on by. Set the pace as he puts some distance on the 91 of Bob Randall. Dion turning the track at about 15.9. Very respectable time here with better than 120 laps down already in the running of this New England 300. Dave Dion now into some lap traffic. Dion, of course, a veteran of the American Canadian Tour and late model sportsman racing throughout the Northeast. Dion with a comfortable lead now, about a 8 to 10 car length lead over the 91 of Bob Randall. Then comes the 01 of Randy McDonald. And quite a space back to the fourth place competitor, which is the 5A of Jean-Paul Cabana. Fifth is held by the number 9 of Yvonne Bernard. Lap money going to the leaders each and every lap. Every 25th lap is worth $200. Lap 150 is worth $500. So in just 24 laps to go, we'll be at the lap that will pay the leader $500. And the drivers, of course, are aware of this bonus money. Bonus money every 25th lap and at the 150th lap provided by Sunoco. Jean-Paul Cabana gets out of shape in the 3 and 4 turn, puts us under yellow. Larry Bottle also spins along with Mike Mayetta right at the entrance to pit road. Perhaps something on the track there as several cars spin right in that area. We'll have to wait and see. Steve Knowlton in the 88 right down here on the front stretch as he tangles with the tires there along the wall. Tough break for Steve Knowlton. Real strong runner in the Pro Stocks and American Canadian Tour wherever he goes. And obviously it doesn't take very much contact to get one of these cars out of shape. Cars on pit road once again. Bill Zotto, Russ Erlin, the 75 of Gary Smith, the 85 of Paul Johnson, the 5A of Cabana, the 10 of Nason, the 24 of Carlton Roby, the 9 of Yvonne Bernard, 93 once again of Tom Kenyon, as he has had a rough day here this afternoon. trips to pit row after running very strong in the heat competition. While we have a moment, I'll read some more winning numbers. Once again, these are for Bosch spark plugs from Burlington Foreign Car Parts. If you hold ticket number 015734, that's 015734 or 015636, that's 015636 or 015737. You have won a set of plugs from the folks at Burlington Foreign Car Parts. They suggest that the Bosch automotive team get your imported or domestic car back in shape. A tune-up with Bosch is one of the best ways to improve performance. All Bosch products are designed to work together in your vehicle. Spark plugs, starters, ignition kits, right straight through. And Bosch is, of course, a sign of quality. So if you are the holder of one of those winning tickets, take your ticket right down to the photo booth and they will give you a certificate for a set of Bosch spark plugs. Dave, Dion, and Bob Randall on the front row, bringing the field down to a start out of turn 4. Green flag is out. Dion once again jumps back into a lead. And Randy McDonald tries to follow suit as he races to the inside of Bob Randall. Out of the two-turn down the backstretch, Randall fights back on the outside, but he's got a strong challenger in the 01 of McDonald to his inside. Bob Randall with his Saturday night late model number 91, battling the youngster out of Canada, the 01, Randy McDonald, out of Oshawa, Ontario, the Delco Buick. Randy McDonald, a new second place competitor as he slides by the 91 of Randall. They have put some distance on the fourth place competitor, which is the 14 of Dave St. Clair out of Liberty, Maine. Then comes the number 11 of Claude Leclerc. Leclerc out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, driving a Chevrolet. Bobby Libby now mounts a challenge to the back of the 11 and 14. Closes in on Dave St. Clair and Claude Leclerc. Leclerc, rather, in the 11, working to the outside of the 14. Dave St. Clair out of Liberty, Maine. Leclerc on the outside. The challenger on the inside is the 14 of Dave St. Clair. Both not wanting to give up that fourth spot. As they battle side by side, the leaders continue to put a lot of distance on the fourth place position. Bobby Libby in the 34 just looking for racing room as he follows the 14 of Dave St. Clair, races to the inside of the number 11 of Claude Leclerc. Of course, the concern that Leclerc must have is for his tires as he works hard on the outside groove. Racing now to the outside of Bobby Libby. Bobby Libby in the number 34 in his Saturday night legal late model sportsman. Tom Kenyon once again experiencing difficulty as he brings it right down next to the wall. Coasts back out onto the track again. And definitely experiencing problems this afternoon. Bobby Libby on the move as he looks to the outside of the 14 of Dave St. Clair. Trying to take away that fourth spot. Bobby Libby right out over the stripe here. Trying to get a good bite out of the four-turn down the front stretch. Same thing out of the two-turn down the back stretch now as he brings it alongside and puts about 3/4 of the car ahead of St. Clair, right front flat. Kenyon. And it's been a day of problems for the youngster Kenyon. He'll close to the infield pit area, but of course in the process will go laps down. Both the 01 of McDonald and the 91 of Randall close up a little bit on the back of the 29 of Dion. Dion, of course, has not stopped for tires, approaching the halfway mark. Lap 150, once again worth $500. And it goes to Dynamite Dave Dion out of Hudson, New Hampshire, as he continues to lead this afternoon's feature event, holding off the hard-charging Randy McDonald out of Oshawa, Ontario in the 01, and Bob Randall out of Sanford, Maine in the 91. And they have just run away from the fourth place competitor, who is the 34 now, Bobby Libby, another Saturday night Beech Ridge legal car. And your fifth place competitor out of Liberty, Maine is the gentleman they call Boss Hog, Dave St. Clair, in the 14. Heavy traffic now as he races up to the back of some lap cars. 4 or 5 lap cars to work his way around. They move to the inside groove, and so far so good. It becomes one of the tricks of leading the race, as the leader must get by lap cars. Bob Randall also negotiates his way to the outside. Tangle on the backstretch now, as the leaders do a nice job of avoiding Larry Pottle, who spins halfway down the backstretch. Pottle gets his 62 back under power, but not until the caution flag comes out with 156 laps completed in the running of the Thompson Machine New England 300. Leader continues to be the 29 of Dave Dion. Dion runs consistently in the high 15s. Going to be hard to beat if that continues. Number of cars on pit road, and among them, Dave Dion in the 29 decides to pit at lap 157. He said he would really kind of wait and see, and the crew would make the decision. Well, evidently, the crew's decision was to pit. As Dave told me earlier, he really lets them make the decision. And he said that has worked well. They work together very well, and he said that he just can't say enough about his crew and the judgment they make, so he doesn't try to second guess them even though he's leading. Good case in point today. Dave Dion, the race leader, and the crew said, we want you to come in and pit. And obviously he had to give up the lead. To do that, that's going to turn the lead over to Randy McDonald in the 01. And on the front line with Randy McDonald will be the 91 of Bob Randall. Ready to restart. Randy McDonald and Bob Randall bring the field down for a start out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air. Side-by-side battle at the start-finish line. Bob Randall to the outside. Randy McDonald to the inside. Randall mounts a charge down the backstretch as he works out and around the 01 of Randy McDonald. McDonald fights back on the inside this time. Once again at the start-finish line, it's a slight advantage to Bob Randall. Randall, a strong runner here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Weekly Saturday night runner, perennial champion here in the late model division, trying to work his way out and around Randy McDonald. Side by side, and the concern obviously for any car on the outside has to be tires, and Randall may just settle back in behind the 01 of McDonald, and he does just that as they negotiate the 3 and 4 turn. Randy McDonald, your leader, youngster out of Oshawa, Ontario. obviously will be the number 29 of Dave Dion, the former leader, who will now have to work his way all the way back up through the pack in order to try to recapture the lead and keep his streak going here at Beech Ridge. Keep your eyes on the 29 of Dave Dion as he begins to thread his way back up through the pack. Some of the other heavy hitters, the number 2 of Buzzy Bazanson, defending champion of the New England 300, also trying to work his way up through the pack, as is the defending champion on the American Canadian Tour, Russ Erlin, in the number 8. And others who had run up front earlier, the 13 of Mike Mayetta, the 10 of Ralph Nason, trying to close the gap a little bit on the 9 of Yvonne Bedard, who sits in 5th place. Ralph Nason now moves under the number 9 of Nason, and Mayetta tries to go under Nason, and they touch, and that puts Nason to the infield, and that will bring a caution flag once again, and realignment with Randy McDonald and Bob Randall once again to square off. Then comes the 14 of Dave St. Clair and the 74 of Rick Martin. Pace car makes its way to the infield, ready for a start out of turn 4. McDonald and Randall on the front line. Green flag is out. Randy McDonald once again with a challenger, Bob Randall, to his outside. Side by side out of the 2-turn down the backstretch. Side by side into turn 3 is Randy McDonald with a slight advantage out of turn 4. Bob Randall now trying to hang on to his second place spot as Dave Sinclair moves right up the inside, trying to keep Randall in that outside groove. All the drivers have had some difficulty running on the outside today. The advantage has definitely been the inside groove. Randall continues to try to work his way around the 14 of St. Clair. Out of the 2-turn down the backstretch, slight advantage to Randall for that second spot as he works his way to the outside and way out the third groove, almost to the stripe that time by. Bob Randall doing a nice job of working his way around Dave St. Clair, back into second spot. On the move down the backstretch, the 5A of Jean-Paul Cabana, also on the move. Cabana races to the outside of Bedard, trying to set his sights on 5th place, which is held by the 13 of Mike Mayetta. They tell us that the 13 of Mike Mayetta is a lap down. Randy McDonald continues to show the way, stretching out his lead over the 91 of Bob Randall. Then comes the 14 of Dave St. Clair, who seems to slow drastically on that lap. Then the 74 of Rick Martin. The number 9 of Yvonne Bedard. Then comes the 2-way battle between Bobby Libby in the 34 and Jean-Paul Cabana in the 5A. Dave St. Clair seemed to slow in the last few laps, and now the cars have caught up to the St. Clair automobile and have to work to the outside, trying to work their way around Dave St. Clair. Look at the ground that Dave Dion has made up as he races to the outside of Buzzy Bazanson. 185 laps down in this running of our Thompson New England 300. led by Randy McDonald, who has developed a comfortable lead out in front of Bob Randall. And Randall likewise a big lead over the 14 of Dave St. Clair, the 74 of Rick Mark, and the 9 of Yvonne Bedard for your top 5. Then comes a two-way battle for 6th spot with Bobby Libby working to the inside and John Paul Cabana working to the outside. And John Paul Cabana continue to work the outside, and in Mayetta and Cabana's rearview mirror now is the 29 of Dion, and the Bezanson automobile spins in the two-turn and right up on the sand pile, bringing out the caution flag once again as the car of Buzzy Bezanson is left high and dry on the sand pile at the infield pit road exit. Will need wrecker assistance to get the number 2 off the sand pile. That will close up the field. Laps down, ready for a start out of turn 4. Green flag is out. Once again, side by side, it's Randy McDonald and Bob Randall. Then comes John Paul Cabana in the R5A. Cabana right up to the back bumper of Randy McDonald. And Bob Randall, no place else to go but to run the outside. Randall trying to mount a challenge once again as he looks to the outside of the 01. Couldn't quite do it that time by. Finds himself in a side-by-side challenge now with a veteran from Canada, John Paul Cabana. Randall backs out of it, takes the car to the inside in order to take it a little bit easier on the tires, I'm sure. Car's tangled in the one turn. Everybody seems to collect it up okay. Man on the move is definitely Dave Dion, as he has worked his way now up to the 5th place. Remember, he started on the tail end of the lineup, just beyond the halfway mark. And Dynamite Dave Dion has worked his way all the way to, well, he's shown in 3rd place on the leaderboard. The Mayetta car is a lap car. Randy McDonald stretches out his lead once again. Leaderboard shows Bob Randall as the 2nd place competitor. Tell us the 5A of Jean Paul Cabana is a lap car, so he's just trying to work his lap back, and that's probably why Bob Randall just kind of decided to let him go. Then comes the 29 of Dion in 3rd. Cars that are currently down a lap are the 11, the 13, the 2, the 08, and the 5 are all down a lap at this point. Leader continues to be Randy McDonald. But on the move is Dynamite Dave Dion out of Hudson, New Hampshire in the number 29. He's worked his way all the way from the rear of the pack, halfway through the race up to 3rd place now, as he sets his sights on the leaders. Randy McDonald, then comes the 91 of Bob Randall, then the 29 of Dave Dion, then the number 9 of Yvonne Bedard, and the 15 of Derek Lynch. Your top 5 competitors with 206 laps completed of this 300-lap premier event on the American-Canadian Tour, the running of the Thompson Machine New England 300. still have 10 cars on the lead lap. 10 cars still on the lead lap as Randy McDonald continues to show the way. Bob Randall will soon see Dave Dion in his rearview mirror as Dion makes his march to the front. Dion definitely turning fast laps. Tangle right here in the front stretch, and it collects up the 74 along with the Bazanson automobile, puts us back under caution. Of course, the number 2 of Buzzy Bazanson with a lot of plastic hanging off the side of the car. He has to take it right to pit road, and the crew will quickly try to remove that material if they possibly can and see if that car is able to continue. Buzzy Bazanson, the defending champion of the New England 300 from last year. And it doesn't look good for the Bazanson automobile as he takes it right to the infield area behind the pit wall. And a tough break for the young man from Plastow, New Hampshire, who I'm sure looked to come back and be a repeat winner here in the most prestigious race on the American Canadian Tour, but it was not to be this afternoon, as he has now set the car behind the pit fence. Just before this caution, they tell us that the cars on the lead lap, number 10 cars still on the lead lap, as the lights are off on the Tour pace car, and we'll be ready to get back under green as the cars come to turn 4. Green flag is out, and it's Randy McDonald and Jean-Paul Cabana racing the backstretch, and it's Cabana as he works out and around the 01 of Randy McDonald. Jean-Paul Cabana, of course, trying to get back on the lead lap. Remember, the 5A is a lap car, and Randy McDonald is your leader in the 01. Then comes Bob Randall. Now he has the challenger to his outside. Dave Dion working the outside of the 91 of Bob Randall as he looks to put the car back up front again, coming from the tail end of the lineup at the halfway point in the race. Dave Dion trying to work his way to the outside of Bob Randall and Randy McDonald. Randy McDonald, remember, your leader, as the 5A is a lap down. Ralph Nason on pit road once again. Difficult stop here under green will definitely cost Nason some valuable laps. Bob Randall continues to do a nice job of racing side by side with Dave Dion as they race the second place position side by side down the backstretch to the 3-turn. Leader continues to be Randy McDonald in the 01. Side by side battle with Dave Dion. Dion trying to continue his string of wins here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, dating back to the end of the 1989 season. He had a clean sweep here, including the showdown event. He has not lost a race here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway since. Randall now following the 5A of Cabana, kind of locked on the inside. That will box Randall in, and Dave Dion now works to the outside of the Randall machine as they once again race to the back end of the 5A of Cabana, a lap car. And that gives Randy McDonald some breathing space as he puts a little distance on second place competitor. By a fender is Dave Dion. Randall trying not to give up that second spot as he continues to race to the inside of Dion. But Dion, ever so gradually, continues his battle to work to the front as he races about 3/4 of the car by Bob Randall out of the 4-turn down the front stretch. And as they cross the start-finish line, he nearly got the whole car by the 91. Yellow flag coming out once again as cars tangle here on the front stretch. 226 laps down, and we are under caution once again. 228 laps down as the cars negotiate the four-turn. Randy McDonald on the inside jumps back into a lead as the 5A is still working to get back on the lead lap. Dave Dion, your second place competitor. Then comes Bob Randall racing to the outside of Dion. Derek Lynch in the 15 and Bobby Libby in the 34. Randy McDonald will now have a mirror full of Dave Dion. Also, the 91 of Randall makes a nice move to the inside as he moves to the third place position. Ontario, Canada, with another strong run here today. Had a strong run, finished third in the running of the Coca-Cola 200. And he undoubtedly has the strongest challenger possible in Dave Dion, racing to the back of the 01. Cars turning in the 15.7 range. Very good time here in the late going of the 300 lap feature event. Dave Dion will have to reach down and pull up a little extra if he's going to work around the Randy McDonald machine, as Randy McDonald is turning some fine time here this afternoon in his AC Delco 01. Continues to hold off the hard-charging Dave Dion as they put considerable distance on the third-place competitor Bob Randall. Then comes the 15 of Derek Lynch, and in fifth place is the 34 of Bobby Libby. Dave Dion makes the smooth move by the 01 of Randy McDonald. The new leader is, of course, the 29 once again, as he has worked his way from the back of the pack all the way to the front once again, demonstrating the strength of the number 29. And the Dion team made a good decision as Dion pitted the race leader at the halfway point of this race. Now with 241 laps complete, Dave Dion is back in front once again as he works his way around the 01 of Randy McDonald. Then comes Bob Randall in the 91, the 15 of Derek Lynch, and the 34 of Bobby Libby for your top five in the standings here this afternoon. Back under caution as Ralph Mason has spun right at the exit of the infield pit road. Lights go out on the Tour pace car, ready for a realignment. 246 laps down in the running of our 300 lap New England 300. Dave Dion to the inside, Randy McDonald to the outside. Green flag is out. Dave Dion gets the jump. reestablishes his lead, although it's a slight one. Bob Randall battling to the inside of the 01 of Randy McDonald, trying to keep McDonald to the outside. Bob Randall up the inside, side-by-side challenge now with the 01 of Randy McDonald. Bob Randall now in second spot as they race the backstretch to turn 3. Slight advantage by Bob Randall in the second spot as he works to reclaim second spot that he held earlier in the race. Claiming that spot from Randy McDonald, third place competitor. The 01, fourth is the 15 of Lynch, and Bobby Libby in the fifth spot. 29 of Dave Dion putting some distance on the second position. Continues to show the way in the Berlin City Ford Continental Paving, number 29 out of Hudson, New Hampshire. Randy McDonald looking to try and mount a challenge for that second spot held by Bob Randall. Looked like he was going to the last lap, but now Randall puts a little distance on the 01 of McDonald. Around the lap car of Robbie Crouch. Crouch having missed a number of laps. Looks like he's taking the car back on pit road once again. Tough break for Robbie Crouch, the current point leader on the American-Canadian Tour. Held just a very slight lead over Jean-Paul Cabana. And undoubtedly Cabana will move on by Crouch with a point lead. Dion has said that he is really not in the points race. Really just running for money in the competition. Passing flag going out to Gary Smith, letting him know that Dion is working his way around him. A couple of Saturday night cars making a fine showing here this afternoon. The 91 of Bobby Randall and the number 34 of Bobby Libby. Randall trying to hold off the hard charging Randy McDonald in the 01. Some distance back sets the 15 of Derek Lynch. The fifth place car on the move, working around some lack traffic, is the 34 of Bobby Libby. On the second place car as he appears to be able to just cruise at the high 15s. Bob Randall doing a nice job of holding off Randy McDonald. Then comes Derek Lynch and Bobby Libby. 70 laps completed now in this 300-lap event. Dave Dion with a comfortable lead over Bob Randall. Randall with a fairly comfortable lead over Randy McDonald in the 01, who's in third. Derek Lynch in fourth. Then comes Bobby Libby in the fifth place position. Russ Erland trying to make up some ground late as he races to the outside of Claude Leclerc. Russ Erland having his first real difficult day at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Erland has run very, very strong. Erland was a driver who completed every race in the 1989 season in the top 10. I think his worst finish in 1989 was a 7th place finish, which is just fantastic. Out of, I think, 21 events, Erland finished all 21 in the top 7 positions. So he is having a rare off day for Russ Erland here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. We have a spin in the 3-turn by the 74 of Rick Martin out of Westport, Mass. John Halbert shows the driver's green. 278 laps down. Cars on the lead lap are the 29 of Dave Dion, the 91 of Bob Randall, the 01 of Randy McDonald, the 15 of Derek Lynch, the 34 of Bobby Libby, the 8 of Russ Erland, and the 9 of Yvonne Bedard are the cars on the lead lap. 278 laps down, ready to restart at turn 4. Dave Dion on the pole, the man who's got a string of wins going here, won every race that he's in now since the end of the last season here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Dion once again back on the point, followed by Bob Randall in the 91, the 01 of Randy McDonald. Then comes the 15 of Lynch and the 34 of Bobby Libby atop 5 cars here this afternoon. Dave Dion just continues to cruise here at what is fast becoming his favorite speedway. He told me earlier today that he gets tremendous tire wear here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, and that's one of the things that perhaps helps him. The team seems to find just the right combination, and the car is very easy on tires. And he did say that was one of the key factors in his success here. Bob Randall continuing to hold off Randy McDonald. Randy McDonald right at the back bumper of Randall's car now. Bobby Libby all boxed in traffic now, and he has a challenge now on his outside, the 9 of Yvonne Bedard and the 8 of Russ Erland. The 9 of Yvonne Bedard in traffic, trying to work his way around Bobby Libby. Bobby Libby does a nice job of getting to the outside and preventing Bedard from taking over that 5th spot from him. So Bobby Libby is going to have to try to hold off Yvonne Bedard in the number 9 and Russ Erland in the number 8, as both of those cars are on the lead lap. Top 5 positions remain unchanged. Bobby Libby does a nice job of shaking free of some of the lap cars and holding off the advances of Bedard and Erland. Bobby Libby, the 34, regular Saturday night runner here, told me earlier today that He was really going to try to run hard today. He felt that he could run with these Tour cars, and Bobby has certainly proven that today as he holds a good solid 5th place position in this 300-lap premier event on the American-Canadian Tour. Down to 10 to go next time by. Flagman John Halbert says 10 laps to go, gentlemen. And Bobby Randall has closed it up a little bit on Dave Dion. Whether Dion has slowed a little or Randall has picked it up a little bit, we don't know. Tangle right out front. Bob Cotton here in the 68 gets out of shape. He straightens the car out, keeps us under green. Bob Randall trying to close the gap on Dave Dion. Randy McDonald trying to find a way by Randall. Derek Lynch has some lap cars in front of him, and he will soon have Bobby Libby at his back bumper. Bobby Libby looking to close the gap on the 4th place competitor. Libby looks now to the inside of the Lynch automobile. Randall still managing to hold off McDonald in the 01 for that 2nd spot. McDonald dives to the inside that time by. Wasn't quite room enough. Randall's car appears perhaps to have developed a little push. Whether the tires might be going away just a little bit. We noticed in the 200 be 5 to go this time by. 5 laps to go for Dave Dion, Bob Randall, Randy McDonald. Randall continues to hold off the 01 of McDonald. McDonald looks to the inside once again, races right to the back bumper of Randall out of the 4-turn. Randall manages to hold the spot. Spins right coming out of the 4-turn. The 11 of Claude Leclerc. Yellow flag comes back out before he can get it fired up and underway. So it will be back to a realignment. And it'll square things off once again. Right back on the front line between the 29 of Dion and the 91 of Randall. To go when we are ready for a realignment. 296 laps have been completed. It'll be 4 to go. Ready for a restart, but the yellow comes out as the officials want to be sure that Flagman is concerned that photographer was perhaps a little bit further out in the infield than officials wanted to see him, and they've asked him to move back a little bit further into the infield as a safety precaution. Ready for a charge to the finish here. 4 laps to go. Dave Dion, Bob Randall out of turn 4. Green flag is out. Dion with a slight advantage as they race to the 1-turn. Randy McDonald will close it right up to the back bumper of the 29 of Dion if he possibly can. Bob Randall will have no place to go but to run the outside. Kind of a tough spot for Randall. Randall continues to work on the outside of the 01 as they race to the back bumper of the 29 of Dion. It'll be 2 laps to go this time by. 2 to go. Continues to be Dave Dion, Bob Randall, and Randy McDonald, your top 3. The battle is for 2nd place with Randall working to the outside, McDonald to the inside. Side by side, they race the 3 and 4 turn. Out of the 4-turn, white flag is in the air. Randall right out over the stripe that time by. Will try to battle back and work his way around the 01 once again down the backstretch. Dave Dion has the lead. The battle is for 2nd with McDonald to the inside, Randall's to the outside. Checkered flag is in the air. Dion collects up the New England 300 and continues his winning ways here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Randy McDonald collects the second spot. Third spot goes to Bob Randall in the number 91. Fourth spot to Derek Lynch. Fifth spot to the 9 of Yvonne Bedard. That he has established back at the end of the 1989 season. Dion continues to be the man to beat. And it's going to be interesting to see just how long Dion can keep this string going, but he has won every race that he has been in since back in October. That is, races run here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. We'll be going trackside in just a few moments for a chance to hear from the top three as Dave Dion coasts back to the start-finish line to return the colors to the flagman. Be congratulated by his crew. We will go trackside to Andy Cusaak. Andy?
Thank you, Bruce. Bob Randall is first to climb from his vehicle. Representative of the Beech Ridge Run today. We'll ask him to come over here. Bob Randall, come on over. Congratulations.
I guess what I kind of needed was a week off.
Well, maybe so, but I tell you, did you do different to the car? But you were flying today.
We made one spring change in the cab, but I think the car's basically been working pretty good right along. We just haven't had a little luck to go with it.
Well, certainly the best Beech Ridge run today. You had some problems in the last race, the covered lap race for this tour. And today everything just went to get the rate real good for you. You pretty much had second sewed up with that restart, and then things fell apart a little bit.
I didn't need that. Me and Randy were about the same speed. So we went a little different line. Get ahead of him. That guy was messing him up a little.
We're here with Dave Dion, who's just climbed out of the Berlin City Ford. David, congratulations. Just
well, you did a fine run. Bill Cusaak from the Thompson Machine Company has your third place trophy for you and a word of congratulations.
You ran a good race. It was a lot of fun. Bob was all interested. Thank you. Never got that.
Thank you, Bob, and congratulations. Randy McDonald. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome him into his second place meeting.
Randy McDonald really went the distance. Didn't seem possible they were going to be able to hold you off, but they did for quite a while.
You had quite a run this afternoon. One better than the year before.
I pretty well wasted this set.
Well, I guess our biggest problem really is just restart.
It shows that the Beech Ridge
I made a mistake last race at Plattsburgh, cost us a lot of point standings.
And that's what we've been trying to do, and that's good. Now, I
secure
think
and safe and really tough to
Beech Ridge driver. It's no longer.
I'd like to thank everybody. Yeah, you
Feature.
and go back to okay?
Thank you. Second place for what? At the Thompson Machine Company.
Well, sir, it's a good race. You were right there. You can restart, but it was a lot of fun. And congratulations to you.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate your support.
Second.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome into victory lane for a third time in as many times, Dynamite Dave Dion. Dave, congratulations.
Good. I think you're always getting tired
Really fantastic for us. We had a couple of close calls out there.
300 laps.
I think once you get a win here and you get the confidence on you, you're not as aggressive or you're not as uptight as I used to be here. So when it went bad, I kind of sat back and I said, I feel like I'm in the best race. If you just kind of let it come to you, I had a good chance. So it made it easy with the car my brothers in Berlin City Ford put under me.
Well, you certainly had after leading much of the race, pulling and bringing your way back up through. Was it any harder the second time through?
Yeah, I don't think we were anywhere near as good the second time, but I don't think we got the first time, so the strategy was still good. I think the combination of Randy and trying to go
Let him get
work this over. I don't think we've much of a chance.
Bill Cusaak, Thompson Machine, has the trophy for the prestigious win for you.
Well, the trophy's bigger than I am, so I've got to hurry up and hand it over today. But, Thompson Machine sells Ford tractors, and he was in the right Ford car today. So, really, we thank you very much for making it a great event.
we've got a lot of points for this Thompson Machine racing. We always said, well, you know, it's a good company, and they really like to have you come. And Ralph would call me a lot of times, even when it was dirt. He'd say, "Come on, you'll do all right. You'll do all right." I said, "Oh boy, I don't know." He said, "Oh, come on, come on. You got a lot of Ford fans, and Thompson."
Issued a regular 3 years.
Finally, I gave them something in return for their loyalty.
Congratulations.
You know, we've never had good finishes before the end of last year with the Ford, so
This
we're real happy to do it for Thompson.
You really had a run going here.
Well, you certainly did do one heck of a job, and we congratulate you, Dave. You've got one more stock, or maybe two if you run the Big A150. We wish you the best of luck in those.
Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a nice round of applause for Dave Dion. Thank you, Dave, and Bruce Elder, back to you.